Hello everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Hope you all can hear me, guys. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So that's great. Hope you all can see my screen as well. I have just shared my screen. Okay. So let us start the session, guys. Before starting the session, I think there has been a miscommunication on the number of days that we are going to have this boot camp. So I think we are having this boot camp for 3 to 4 weeks, guys. So yesterday I have discussed this with the Ashok, and there has been a little miscommunication. So that is the reason there was a communication between miscommunication between the students. So we are going to have this session, these sessions for the 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, so you guys don't need to worry about the course content. I'll be providing you the best course content, because if you can go outside and check about me. So I'm the one actually teaching this GCP DevOps as well as GCP data engineer from the last 1.5 year in Hyderabad. So you don't need to worry about it. You can trust me on that. Okay, so I'll deliver the best course content for you guys, so you can trust me on that. So let us try to start with our very first topic. As I told you, we are going to see why we need the cloud platform. Okay, so first thing, for example, if you go 10 years before, you guys were, we might have seen many of our seniors working on the traditional systems, right? So if we wanted to know how they are working, let us try to take a small example, and let me gonna tell you how people were working in the traditional working model, how the traditional working model looks like, and what was the challenges that the people were facing, and how those challenges were fixed by the cloud computing model. Let us try to understand now. Okay, so for example, if you go for example 10 years before. Okay, so if you go 10 years before, let me gonna tell you that if one organization wanted to deploy a new application, or one organization wanted to create a new application for their own customers. Okay, for the customers, they wanted to create a new application. So what happens behind the scene to create a new application? Let us try to understand first. Okay, so let us consider if an organization wanted to roll out a new application, the business, sorry, the business comes up with the requirements for the application. The business analyst will gather the needs from the business and analyzes it and converts it into a set of high-level technical requirements. And then he passes that information to the solution architect. Okay, and the solution architect now converts that into a solution architecture diagram to be followed for the deployment of this application. What the solution architect will do? He will try to create a one entire new solution architecture diagram to be followed for the application deployment. That may involve many things. Maybe the infrastructure, the number of infrastructure components, or the count of servers, or the front end web server, or the back end web server, or the load balancers, or the specification types, many things. So that architecture diagram will be the flow of application deployment from the scratch to the application, the entire new application. So that is what is an architecture diagram will be created by solution architect, that has to be followed by all the people now. Okay, so let us try to understand from the beginning again. So if an organization wanted to roll out a new application, so the business, there will be a business. The business comes up with the requirements from the application. And then the business analyst will be there. He will gather the needs of business. What is the need of that particular business? And then he analyzes that information and converts that into a set of high level technical requirements, and then passes that information to the solution architect. Now the solution architect will come into the picture and he will try to create a solution architecture diagram for the application to be for the application to be deployed. So that involves many things which creates an application from the scratch. That may involve the infrastructure components or the web servers or the load balancers or many other things. Okay, so when you're following the traditional model, so what they have to do is that this entire application deployment has to be done in the organization's on-premises data center only. When they're following the traditional working model, for example, so if you go 10 years before, a company and organization has to manage their own data center. When I say data center, in the data center, we have two types of resources. One is called as a physical resource, one more is called as a virtual resources. And if an organization wanted to deploy an application, they have to use the resources data center only. They have to use the resources from the data center only because they don't have the cloud at that point of time. They have to maintain their own infrastructure. They have to maintain their own infrastructure. They have to maintain their own data center for the application deployment of whatever the resources that are required. And this data center needs the maintenance of 24 by 7 electricity, 24 by 7 security, 24 by 7 power supply, 24 by 7 cooling supply. Okay, so we need to, that organization has to maintain this entire data center so that this data, on top of this data center resources only, application will be deployed. Okay, now assume that now the architect has already created an architecture diagram from one process to one process, something like this. So he might have created so that the application is created now finally. But what are the resources that are required? He may be requiring the load balancer, network components, servers, backend databases, load balancers, or the specification types. So many things he might have mentioned in the architecture diagram. So now the architecture diagram has to follow, everyone has to follow the application to be deployed. So if everyone has all of these resources has to be available in the data center. So if I wanted to follow the traditional working model, all the resources which are required for this application deployment has to be available in the data center. If that they are available, the application team directly will deploy the application on top of this data center resources. But most of the time, those applications may not be available directly. Most of the time, these resources may not be available in the data center directly. So that is the reason the solution architect will be creating a request to the procurement team. Whenever a new hardware requirement is there, if there is an additional hardware requirement is there, they would have to order it via procurement team. Again, this team will connect with the vendor's team. Okay, so again, this team will put in a new request with the vendor's team. Now it will take days or weeks or even 2 months for this entire new hardware to be purchased and delivered to the data center. Okay, whatever the new hardware that they have requested, the solution architect. Hardware or resources, infrastructure, all of these things are same. Don't worry about that. So the solution architect is creating the architecture diagram. In that, he might have mentioned the hardware required for the application deployment. If that hardware is not available in the data center, if the additional hardware is needed, they would have to order it via procurement team. Now the procurement team will put a request to the vendors team. Now it will take days, sometime even weeks, and sometimes it is going to the months for the hardware to be purchased and delivered to the data center. So this vendor has to purchase the hardware and they have to deliver it to the data center so that in the data center they have the hardware required for this new application deployment. Okay, so this is what happens now. Now, once the hardware is received at the data center, once the hardware is received at the data center, the field engineers will come into the picture. The field engineers will come into the picture, guys. They will take charge of the rack and stack equipment. Rack and stack means whatever the hardware that they have received, right? They will be actually organizing into the rack and stack, and they will be doing the cabling, and they will be doing the many other things also. And there will be system administrators come into the picture, or system admins. They will do the initial configuration of the system, and the network admins also come into the picture, and they will do the initial configuration of the network, and they will make sure that all of these systems are available over the network. And then storage admins come into the picture. They will do the storage. They will assign the storage for each of these systems, and the backup admin will take care of the backup of these systems. And that's where the application team will come into the picture. That's where the application team will come into the picture. Whatever the infrastructure that is ready and that is prepared by all of these teams, they will be deploying the application code. So, for example, when any application today, if application means in the that is required. One is the code to be deployed, and then infrastructure. So both of these things are same. The code is developed by developers. Okay, but for the infrastructure, many things have to be taken care. That infrastructure means hardware. This hardware has to be purchased and delivered it to the data center. And once it is delivered, they have to convert it into the rack and stack. They have to do the cabling. They have to do the system administration configurations, network configurations, storage configurations, backup configurations. Once everything is done, that is developed, they are going to deploy that code on top of these resources. On top of these systems that has prepared by many people. So that's where the application is now running up and running in the data center resources. Okay, so this is how an entire flow from the requirement perspective to the application creation. So this is how whenever a business comes up with a requirement of the application, the business analyst will gather the information from the business, and he will be converting that into a set of high level technical requirement, and then he passes that information to the solution architect, and the solution architect will create a architecture diagram to be followed for the application, and whatever the resources or hardware required for this one needs to be procured from the procurement team, and they will put a request to the vendors team. Now the vendors team will take some time to purchase the hardware and deliver it to the data center. Once the hardware is received at the data center, the field engineers will come into the picture, and they will do the rack and stack, and the system admins will take care of the initial configuration of the system. Network admins will take care of the network configurations. Storage admins, backup admins, and the application team now deploy the code on top of the data center. So that's where your application is running in the data center. Okay, so this is what happens in the backend, guys. So this is how in a traditional system. Hello,
Hi, Ram.
guys.
Hi, Ram. Good morning.
Okay, is my voice breaking, guys?
Yes,
Okay, one
yes.
minute, 1 minute. Let me refresh my thing.
Your voice is breaking right now. Also have a background noise.
Can you guys confirm now once? Is it good?
Actually, it is good, but in between it goes breaking, so difficult to give an answer right now.
Okay, so I think now it is good, right? Hope you all can hear me. There is a background noise from my end. I don't think it's actually very calm from my end. Is it good now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So to again one more, if I have to recap. So whenever a new application, this is all about 10 years before, guys. It's not in the current era. So 10 years before we are talking about. In the 10 years before, this is what used to happen. If an organization wanted to create a, so they'll think that for their customers, they wanted to create a new application. Okay, for application, they have to first understand what is the requirement. That requirement needs the requirement has to be passed on to the solution architect. Now the solution architect will create an architecture diagram, and in that he will also mention the infrastructure details. If that entire hardware is already available at the data center, there is no problem. If that is not available in the data center, they have to put in a request to the procurement team. Procurement team has to connect it with the vendors team. Now, vendors team will come into the picture and they will try to purchase the hardware and deliver it to the data center. And once the hardware is received at the data center, field engineers will come into the picture, and system admins, network admins, storage admins, backup admins, and the application team try to deploy the application on top of these systems. So that's where your application is ready. Okay, now try to understand what are the challenges that people were facing. This is what we call as a traditional system, guys. So this is what I'm calling as a traditional system. In a traditional system, these many people are working behind that, these many different tasks. Okay, so if you wanted to understand the challenges that people were facing, let us try to understand. Let me remove this one. Yeah, the very first problem is that slow deployment model. This traditional working model is a slow deployment model. The turnover time varies from weeks to months for everything to be ready for the application deployment. So that is the reason it is called as a slow deployment model. The turnover time is where it's because you see that, guys, we are spending a lot of time on the procurement team, the vendors team, and the hardware delivery, and once the field engineer is so we are spending a lot of time for the application deployment. For that, we need the entire infrastructure to be ready. So for making the entire infrastructure to be ready, we are spending a lot of time. So that is the reason the turnover time varies from the weeks to months, sometimes weeks to quarters also, to everything to be ready for the application deployment. So that is the reason it is called as a slow deployment model. And one more thing is that expensive. The overall cost to deploy and maintain this working model is very high, guys. So the overall cost, because you see here many people are working, maintaining the center itself is a very costly process. Yes or no? You guys confirm? So for the data center management itself, it is we are going to spend a lot of money. So not only that, we have to maintain the many people working here in the medicine, and we have to recruit them, we have to provide the salaries to them, and the overall cost for deployment as well as maintaining this traditional working model is very high. So that is the reason we call it as it is a one of the expensive working model. And one more thing is that in the traditional system, automation is limited, because some aspects can be automated, but most of the aspects cannot be automated. You see here, guys, whatever the field engineers are doing, it has to be done manually. The system admins, it has to be done. Most of the things, whatever they are doing, it has to be done manually only. So while some aspect of the infrastructure can be automated, but several steps cannot be automated. So that is the reason the deployment procedures are manual and slow. I'm going to call it as limited automation. Okay. And next point is that with so many teams working on so many different tasks, the chances of human error is very high. That results in inconsistency in the environment. We guys can see it, right? So many different, so many different tasks. So which leads to the human error, which results in the inconsistency in the environment. And one more final disadvantage that we're gonna get is that the underutilization of the computer
Hello, sir.
resources.
Sorry for
Is a waste
interrupting
of
here.
resources.
For your voice is breaking continuously.
Yes, yes, it's breaking. Yeah, just typing.
Yeah, also the same
Continuously
from
break.
beginning. Rahul sir is breaking your voice.
Not sure, guys. My internet is good.
From beginning
Same problem,
actually.
same problem.
As of now, I don't got anything like.
Or I think anyone's unmute the voice here.
My
Someone
internet
might
is
be
very
switch on
good.
the mic, sir. Please inform to switch off the mic.
Guys, unmute yourself. Sorry, don't unmute yourself. Please try to mute yourself. So I see some kind of disturbance from one of the guy. So now it is good. Okay, that is one thing. And one more thing is my internet is actually good. I don't see any problem with my internet.
I think it's a kind of disturbance from any electronic thing or something because it is good somehow, but in between it's again breaking kind of things. Some
Um,
disturbance in your voice.
I think whenever you are very close to mic is very good, sir.
Some,
So when you are speaking
Okay,
continuously, we are moving out from the mic, so it's disturbing.
okay. So let me gonna come near to the mic then. Okay, I think this is now good, right?
yes, yes, right now it's good.
Okay. So as I was telling you, this it is the slow deployment model. It's because the turnover time is varying for everything to be set up, and it is an expensive model, guys. When I say an expensive, because maintaining this working model is very costly. Because we need to maintain the people, we need to maintain the data center as well, and it is a limited automation because as I told you, some aspects of the system can be maintained automated, but most of the aspects cannot be automated, so that is the reason it is a limited automation. And one more thing is that many teams are working on the many different tasks. The human error is very high, which leads to the inconsistency in the environment. And the final disadvantage that you're going to get is that wasted resources. Nothing but a underutilization of the resources. Whatever you are purchasing, whatever you are delivering it to the data center, the hardware, so that you are not going to utilize it for 100%. Okay, you are not going to utilize it 100%. So that is the reason underutilization of the resources comparatively. Okay, so also call it as a wasted resources. So that is our final issue, that disadvantage that with the traditional working model. So when you're working in the traditional working model, these many challenges that you guys are facing, these many challenges that the companies are facing. So that's where the companies are looking for a one more alternative solution. Okay, so that's where the cloud computing model came into the picture. The cloud providers came into the picture. So what the cloud providers say? Cloud provider says is that you don't need to create your own infrastructure, you don't need to maintain your own data center. We will provide the resources for you so that you can make use of these resources and you can create your own applications without worrying about the infrastructure. So that is what is cloud provider do, guys. So instead of focusing on this procurement team, instead of worrying about this backup team, storage team, maintaining this data center, you don't need to worry about all of these things now. Because so if you wanted to create your own infrastructure in the house, then only you have to make use of all of these things. But what the cloud provider will do is that whatever the cloud provider, whether it is AWS or Azure or GCP, they're gonna provide you the cloud computing services so that you can make use of these services to create the systems. To create the systems and to make your systems available over the network. And once your resources or infrastructure is ready, within 5-10 minutes, within 1 hour or 2 hours only, your entire infrastructure will be ready, guys. if you wanted to create the infrastructure in the on-premises or a traditional working model, you are taking like months. But if you are going for the cloud provider, you can within few hours only you can able to create your infrastructure. So that is the reason it is called as a faster deployment model. So you do not have any challenge of this one. Okay, so it is called as a faster deployment model when you are working with the cloud computing, because in a cloud computing, the resources are already available in the cloud. We just have to configure them, create them, use it. For configuration and creation, it usually takes hardly 15-20 minutes. And after that, you can deploy your application code on top of it. You can deploy this application code on top of it so that your application is running in the cloud. So this is how it works, guys. For this one, for that is the reason you can directly deploy your resources. It is the faster deployment model comparatively. And one more thing is that it is compared to the traditional working model. Cloud computing model is less expensive. It is cheap. So you do not have any expensive problem also. And the third thing is that, so in a cloud computing model, you are working with the APIs, application programming interfaces. Anything that you are doing in the cloud can be automated. Most of the aspects, whatever you are doing in the cloud can be automated because everything works via APIs. Okay, so that is the reason automation is high. You don't call it as a limited automation. And now you do not have a procurement team. Now you do not have a vendors team. Now you do not have a field engineer, system admins, storage admins, backup admins, data center. Nothing is there. So the teams are now we do not have a many teams working behind the scene. So that is the reason the chances of human error will not be there. It does not lead to the inconsistency. And so in the cloud, whatever the resources that are required, we can just create it, configure it. And there is a scalability option is also there in the cloud. So if you need more, you can assign more. So you can scale up. If you wanted to use less, you can scale down. So scaling up and down as per your requirement or as per your demand, you can able to do it very easily. So that is the reason. So compared to the traditional model, wasted resources will not be there. So this is how, whenever you are working in the cloud platform, you are going to get these kind of advantages over the traditional systems. When you are working in the traditional system, your organization has to maintain everything for the application deployment. But when you are working in the cloud computing model, your organization is relying on the services provided by the cloud provider for the application deployment. So this is called as a cloud computing working model. Okay, so this is the difference between the cloud as well as traditional, guys. In a traditional, people were facing a lot of issues. Now you have seen, so that is the reason cloud is very important for us. And it is very cheap. High automation is there. There is no chances of human error. There is no wasted resources. Okay, and it is a faster deployment model. So this is the reason most of the companies are started using the cloud, and most 90+% of the companies are already switched to the cloud for their own business requirement purposes. Okay, so now this is what is the difference between the traditional model as well as cloud model, guys. In a traditional working model or an on-premises working model, an organization managing its own infrastructure to run their code or application. An infrastructure can be a servers, hardware, software, networking, storage. And in a cloud computing model, a cloud provider delivering the infrastructure as a service. As I told you, right? So the cloud provider, take GCP. GCP is providing you the resources for your organization. Now your organization is building your application without worrying about the infrastructure. So the infrastructure is provided by whom, sir? Your cloud provider. nothing but a Google Cloud platform. So this is how the difference between the traditional working model as well as cloud computing model. Okay. So that is what is the Google. That is what is the difference between the cloud computing model and traditional working model, guys. And that is the reason we need the cloud platform. So that is we have covered two topics there. One is why need cloud, why we need the cloud platform. I think that is clear. And one more thing is that traditional versus cloud. So these are the two topics that we have covered now. Does anyone have any questions? Please raise your hand, guys. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Yes, Prashant.
Yes, sir. I have the question regarding this bootcamp, that CGP. So I have the 6 year of experience in IT industry as a Java developer. So how this bootcamp will help me in my career growth? And in CGP, uh, is there any practical way to understand all the this bootcamp?
Of course, we are going to practically understand it. So in our upcoming sessions, we are going to understand the things. For example, the data engineering topics, how we can best use of it. So I'm going to tell you an end-to-end pipelines also, so that you guys gonna get how in a Google Cloud platform we can create a pipelines and how we make use of storage systems, how we make use of data processing systems, how we make use of data warehousing systems. So all of those things we are going to cover in our upcoming sessions. Yeah.
So this CGP will help in the cloud engineer.
It's GCP.
Sorry, yes, GCP.
It's a
That
Google Cloud platform, guys.
yes.
If you wanted to
So
become a cloud engineer, or if you wanted to become a developer, or a data engineer, or a DevOps engineer, every can be work in the GCP also. So all of those things we are going to cover in our upcoming sessions. I have given you the course content. You guys can go and look into it. Yeah.
and because yesterday I am not attend this session, so this is we can assume that this is the starting from yesterday, or so after
Starting
payment
from it is starting from today. You can think of.
starting from today. So after this, like after paying the fee, what I will get means like this is the demo session or what?
So this is actually the first class, Prashant. You can actually go and watch the previous session first thing. Okay, so that if you are joining today only, and one more thing is that only one demo session happened yesterday, and one more thing is that you can also look at the course curriculum that we are going to cover. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
What is the difference in boot camp and regular training, sir?
The boot camp is only for us, to make you aware, guys. So there is some course of something is available, and you guys do not know that, and which makes you aware that. So these particular boot camps are for a limited period of time. It is not going to cover the entire things. But in the advanced courses or in a actual trainings, what happens is that everything for that particular training will be covered.
So the advanced data engineer is a prerequisite of this boot camp of GCP.
The
Can we
boot
say?
camp, it's not like that. It's not like that because if you go to the advanced or whatever I am covering, it is again will be started from the beginning. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So that
Hello,
that
sir.
is, yeah. Okay, guys.
Yeah,
If any,
so after attending this course, so
yeah. Yes, Shashi.
yeah, so yeah, I have one question like the after attending this course, so can we go for any certification that
So
have
that's what
got
I'm
in
telling
the
you guys.
industry?
So I have told you yesterday also. This is a boot camp. We are planning it for 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. So the validation for, I mean, the duration for this course is like 3 to 4 weeks. The boot camp. Okay, let me gonna go to my notes. The boot camp. This is a boot camp, guys. In the boot camp, usually The course will be actually 2 to 3 weeks only, but we have extended it to 3 to 4 weeks so that you guys gonna get much out of it, because very less people know about the GCP. So we are spending 1 or 2 more weeks extra only. As actually as per planned, it is going to be 2 weeks only. But yesterday, Ashok let us extend for 2 more weeks also, so that guy students are already paid, so they will get better out of it. So this time 4 weeks is almost a month. Okay, a month. And now,
Sir,
out of these
when you gonna
bootcamp, what you can expect?
Sir, again your voice is breaking, Rahul sir. Hello.
Your
Sorry.
voice is breaking, yes.
Okay, so I think it is clear now, right?
Yes.
sir, my
Yeah.
question is that when you going to start your complete course?
We
Like
have
I want
started
to do
already.
a
We have
yeah, you
started
have
already.
started right now. But the thing is that when you are saying you are planning to continue start a new batch for that in-depth knowledge for GCP. So when you going to
So you
start
mean
it?
to you mean to say the actual training batch?
Yes,
The
training
training
batch,
batch is
like
completed after this one. Okay, so even my time is very limited, guys. Please try to understand. My time is limited, very limited. I have been actually teaching every day 4 hours for the trainings. Actually, 3 hours for the trainings, and 3 batches I have been running. So this is one batch, and again at 7:30 I have a one more batch, and in the evening I have a 10 p.m. to 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. I have a one more batch, 3 batches, and again I'm working as a solution architect for one of the company in the. So that is how. So once this particular boot camp is completed, we will be planning the actual batch. Okay. So out of this boot camp, let us try to tell me what you guys can expect from this boot camp. You cannot expect it to be certification completed. You cannot expect. Sir, I spend some 3 to 4 weeks and I wanted to complete the certification. You cannot do that. Sir, within the 3 to 4 weeks, I wanted to do the job.
Sir, what
Yeah.
a topic you covered here. Can you discuss here syllabus of details?
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
better thing.
Yeah. So try to understand this point, guys. From the certificate, from the bootcamp, you cannot expect a certification. You cannot expect for the job ready. Okay. This is to make you aware. Bootcamp is always to make you aware. We are extending it for the 1 month. So that is try to understand. For the topics wise, the topics are same thing, guys. So I think I have also told you yesterday also. The topics are same thing. Okay, so the topics, there is no difference in the topic. The topics we are going to cover it, the same topics that we are going to cover, which I have mentioned in the video, which I have mentioned. You guys can see here. So,
That means a high level you are going to cover.
so no, guys. So 3 to 4 weeks is like a very good, I mean, very good time. So we are going to cover it a very good amount of knowledge. So 3 to 4 weeks is almost half of the actual training. Okay, so it is half of the actual training that you are going to get a very good knowledge out of this boot camp. Okay, so it's
So
not
in
like
this, yeah, sorry, sir. In this boot camp, can we get the end-to-end any practical project?
of
So
course. So we are going to see an end-to-end pipeline. Yesterday, I was also I have told you guys. I think you guys are not looking at it. I have told you, right? So end-to-end pipeline, I will show you. So this pipeline I will show you, which will be covering Airflow, cloud storage, Python will be covered here, cloud functions, data flow, BigQuery, Looker. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 services are integrated.
no, but my question is, I will get this any project or what? So, miss for my practice, can I get the any practical project or what?
So if I am explaining some project, you can practice it, right, guys? I do not know what is that question. If I'm explaining some project and if I'm implementing some project, you can't replicate it. You can practice it, right? So that is what is mean. So if I'm saying something, if I'm explaining, so how this is how we can, and I'm gonna create this Airflow, cloud storage I will create, cloud function I will create, data flow I will create, BigQuery I will create, Looker I will create, I will integrate all of these systems. I will make sure that the data is flowing from all of these things, and you can't replicate it.
In this
Of course, you
all
can.
these things, seven step, we don't require any licensed software, right? This is all the open source, no?
So Google Cloud Platform, we have to create a free tier account.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is how, guys. So all of these things, in addition to the yesterday's topics, I have included few more topics also in a depth. And one more thing is that I'm also covering an end-to-end pipeline so that you guys get best out of this particular bootcamp. Okay. So that is the reason. But the thing is that make sure that it is, you cannot be the job ready, first thing, and you cannot be the certification ready, because this is just 3 to 4 weeks, right? So you cannot expect everything from it. So this is what is a boot camp, guys. Okay, anyone have any other questions?
Sir, I have one question. Do we require
Yes,
any development coding knowledge in this?
yes, for sure. So this particular data engineer, GCP data engineer, okay, for if you wanted to become a GCP data engineer, because you are going to, if you wanted to go for the job, you will be getting a huge calls. The calls are very huge. Sir, I wanted to become a GCP data engineer. Every day you can easily sit for 2 interviews.
But
Okay.
coding
And
knowledge
firstly,
is required.
coding knowledge is required. You need to
Oh,
have a knowledge of SQL, comma
mhm.
Python. Basic knowledge,
Basic knowledge.
intermediate knowledge on the SQL, basic knowledge on the Python. That's fine.
Sir, your
Okay.
code will be integrated with the Python, right?
Sorry,
Your code will be integrated with the Python language, right?
it is prepared with Python language. Yes.
Mm, okay. Suppose I will be show my fake experience in this technology.
Okay.
Okay. And then it is how much fake experience I show in my CV.
Okay.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. Of course.
How much experience I will be showing.
From again, I'm telling you guys, you
Mm.
are not job ready for from this boot
Okay.
camp. You
This is
don't.
this is the basic things you will be discuss here, right?
So not a basic thing, but you are going to get real picture of actual the course will be looking like. You are going to create a pipeline, but that doesn't mean that you are job ready. Okay,
Mm.
so actual course will give you 3 years of experience. Actual course
Okay.
will give you 2 to 3 years of experience.
Mm.
Okay, if you are going for the actual course, 2 to 3 years of experience. That is almost 2 plus months.
2 plus month. You also be this is the basic things you will be providing the advanced things, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Thanks. Sir.
Okay, so GCP data engineer, there are very huge calls, guys. That is the reason. So very less people know about it. So that is the reason. The main agenda of this bootcamp is that to make you aware that the course is easy and the code. There are plenty of the calls. You guys can prepare for the job by attending the advanced course. So that is the main intention of this one. No one will provide you an entire course with the 400 rupees or 500 rupees. Okay, so just to make you aware it, I am sitting for the day and I am telling you almost 20 plus hours, which is almost a 1 month. And what you can expect out of this course is that you can understand the basic things first thing. And when I say Google Cloud Platform, you are going to understand about developer knowledge, data engineer knowledge, DevOps engineer knowledge, all the basic knowledge on the Google Cloud Platform. Not basic. That means when I say basic, you may be guys thinking that the knowledge is basic. It is not. Knowledge is basic. The basic concepts in the GCP. Okay, GCP has basic concepts such as interfaces, locations, IAM and admin, and Linux. That means Cloud Shell, how to work with that. And one more thing is resource hierarchy. Okay, so these are the basic concepts. If anyone wanted to work in the GCP, if I say Google Cloud Platform, everyone who is working on the GCP, they must learn this thing. This is must and should. So these concepts should be very clear. So in addition to these concepts, we are also covering data engineering tools and end-to-end pipeline. Okay, so that is what we are going to cover, sir. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, one thing I want to tell you is
Yeah.
I know a little bit AWS and Azure. So what are you doing for the small fee? It's amazing, excellent job. I would say really thank you.
Correct. So
Right?
that, I
It's
mean, most
excellent,
of
you
the
know.
people are not able to understand this point. So that is
Dude,
the reason.
guys, understand like these courses
Yeah.
are very expensive outside. At least I'm going through, okay, AWS and Azure. Those are not like $500, 500 rupees or anything like that. It's like
Correct.
20, 12,000, 15,000, whatever the Prashant sir is doing amazing job, you
Yeah.
know. You get a
Actually, what
overview of the
happens,
picture.
guys, right? So if you go actually my GCP course, the worth of that GCP 2 months course itself, it is 12,000 plus. As of my knowledge, it is 12,000. I do not know the institute how much they are putting it.
Exactly,
Okay,
sir.
the
Yeah.
actual GCP, or even you go for Azure also, they will like 12,000 to 15,000. AWS also. But I am giving you half of the knowledge of this one. That means 1 month. This is if you think this is 2 months. 1 month of the course knowledge, you are getting it only for 500 rupees. This is only to make you aware. It is a loss for us. But the thing is that it's a loss. It's a lot of time I'm putting and a lot of money that you are getting benefited. So try to understand that point and try to, don't worry about the money. It's not about the money. Okay, it's not totally about the money. The only thing that you have to do is that there are calls for the GCP, and try to understand that, put your time, put your effort. You can use this basic knowledge whatever I am giving. You can actually prepare yourself and you can go for the interview. Okay, and that is also one thing. Or you can join my advanced batch. That is also fine. You join or not join, that's not bother me at all. So the only thing is that you're getting a lot from this boot camp. You try to understand that. Only simple point. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you all.
actually, sir, hello.
Yes, yes, please.
Sir, from which day the actual practicals will start? Sir? Maybe after 2 3 days.
We have started already. So actually, from
Practicals.
practicals will start, guys. So if you wanted to understand, so I can tell you guys today itself. I can tell you. So this is how you have to create a pipeline. You will not be able to understand everything, right? So I have to give you step by step how you have to understand each and every concept. Try to understand it by the end of this boot camp, sir. You will only call me and say me that, sir, everything I am able to understand. This is one of the best boot camp. Okay, so you will call me and say me, and this is what. And one more thing is that this is the last boot camp that I will be telling into. So I actually usually I will not encourage this kind of a boot camps because it's a lot of time waste for me and a lot of money I'm putting into. So this is a last boot camp, but try to understand you are going to get a best knowledge from this boot camp. So that is I can promise you on that. Okay.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, thank you,
All
sir.
the topics will be
And
covered very
as a CGP, after completion of this, GCP cloud. So after completing this boot camp and advanced training, as an experienced person,
Of
minimum
course.
how much package can expect?
You can expect anything. I'm telling you guys, you can expect a lot from this. For example, if you are attending my boot camp plus if you are going and completing my advanced course, so both are actually same only advanced course. And if you complete it, I'm telling you, it gives you 3 years of knowledge, which is exactly like me. I have 4 years, but you are getting 3 years first thing. And one more thing is that, so the packages, so for example, you have 5 years of experience. Out of that, you put last 2.5 years as a GCP. You can expect to go up to 30 LPA also. Okay.
Okay. Okay. And
Okay. So
where
that
can
is
I
it.
pay this bootcamp fee?
Sorry.
Where can I pay the bootcamp fee?
Boot camp. You can connect with the admin team. So I think do we have the admin here? I'm not sure. So 1 minute. Let me paste the link here, guys.
Sir, I assume, sir, if
Yes,
we
please.
complete this advanced data engineer, um, um,
Okay.
sorry, sir, if the question is related or not, how we can search the GCB data engineer in Naukri.com. So just I want to
So
know
you can
how many
you can
positions are.
see. I'm telling you guys. So if you just okay, don't trust me anything on this one. What you do, just create a dummy resume for yourself and make it as a GCP data engineer. I will give you dummy resume if you want. What you can do is that go to the Naukri. Sorry, I'll open this one.
Excuse me,
Go
sir.
to the Naukri.
Nidhi this side. Can I take it this question?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry.
Myself, Nidhi, sir. Sir,
Okay.
I would like to inform whoever are looking for the job opportunity. There are huge opening for the GCP data engineer.
Of
Even
course, that is what
Yeah.
people have not
and
known about it.
nothing not to do, just add GCP roles and responsibility in your current project and what project you have done. So of course you would have not done as you are fresher, so just add, do one project, online projects, anything, and just get the knowledge. See, I'm also working as a business system analyst, where I'm seeing I'm hiring, even I'm taking the interviews for the GCP engineers. So it's a very good, and no need
Very
to
good
worry about
course.
the for this ki how much salary and all. It is completely based on your experiences and how you're going to face the interviews and all. So I think we should to focus on whatever the sir is telling to us
Correct.
and
So that's
teaching
what.
to
See,
us.
people
In
is too much
between we are
worried about the
coming,
money.
yeah, we are
Yeah.
coming, even if we haven't completed 1 week and we are expecting that from tomorrow onwards we can start the job. It is not possible now. Just focus on next 10 days, please guys. Miss, I
I
have
mean,
attended
to
many
satisfy you, all of
train.
you, is very hard. But the thing is, to try to understand is that this boot camp is like a lot, guys. I'm telling you, you don't get actually with 500 rupees, you don't get this thing, and you don't get my time. Actually, I'm a corporate trainer. I've been teaching in the corporates also. But the way I teach in the corporate is different. The way I teach in the training is different, because to make you aware that I will be coming to a very down language and trying to explain you everything. And for the jobs, guys, you just go and search with the GCP data engineer. You will get a plenty of jobs. Yeah.
Sir, thank you for Nidhi ma'am. Sir, my question is not for boot camp. I mentioned that
Advanced also, I mean, advanced also.
after completion of the advanced data engineer,
Yeah.
how we
Advanced
can
also.
search, how we can search in the Naukri the job, either specific tool we have to mention or as data engineer.
You
Because of
can
data
just see
engineer
here.
comes on AWS as well as Azure as well. So do you have any specific tool needs to be mentioned the service?
No. You just mention GCP
Just
means Google
mention data
Cloud.
flow, airflow, and cloud computing. BigQuery,
No. You
that
can
is
just
more
mention
than
GCP
sufficient.
data engineer. So you can just mention GCP data engineer. You can search in the Naukri. You will be getting these many results. Okay. Everywhere GCP data engineer. Okay.
Sir,
You can go and look into the tools that they are looking for. You can see here data engineering, Google Cloud Platform, Spark, Python, as I told you, BigQuery. And here also you come here, BigQuery, BI, data version, Python, and data. So again, Cloud SQL. And there are a few things which is not related to it, is Java full stack again, sorry. And you can see a data stage, PLSQL, Informatica, so Teradata. So BigQuery,
excuse me,
SQL,
sir.
data. Many
Sorry
of
for
these
this.
things are we are going to cover here. Yeah.
As a fresher, also, after completing the advanced course, we can put it on
Of
the resume,
course.
right?
Of course, that's what. So even you are a fresher also, the getting of jobs are very good. So because if you're learning some course and you already have SQL and Python knowledge, getting the jobs as a fresher is also very good. You can easily get
Sorry.
it. Yeah.
No, sir. If possible, please share some dummy resumes and interview question and answer.
See guys, so in
Guys, this is
my
a boot camp,
actually, if
guys.
you go to Planet, you can see here you have everything. Okay, so don't worry about it. During the sessions, we'll get to know. I have one more session to go, and I'm stopping the session here for today. But don't worry about it. You can trust me on this one. I am the trainer that I've been teaching the GCP data engineer and GCP DevOps from the last 1.5 year. I taught more than 40 plus batches. Okay, so you can trust me on that. Almost 700 to 800 people are already working as a GCP data engineer from my course. I'm telling you. Okay, 700 to 800
Thank you.
people are already taught so far. Okay, so don't worry about that. We will meet tomorrow at the same time, 6:30 to 7:30. I have another class to go. We will meet tomorrow, guys. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.